idea is to show you how the citation report works. So the first thing is, in order to view the citation report, the number of records should be less than 10,000. See, in this case, it says very clearly, citation report feature not available. And if you click here, it says, I'm just placing my mouse on that question mark, and it says the maximum set size of the report is 10,000 records, right? So this number, institution, as long as the number is less than 10,000, this link will automatically become active. But there's no point in finding the H index of papers of 2019, right? Of course, you can if you really wish to, but let's just go back. Let's quickly do a search on the basis of authors. So let's look at time cited, and I have this author, for example. You click on any author's name, and oh my goodness, this is an excellent author. So if you click on any author's name, for example, all the papers written by this author will be displayed. So this author, it says very clearly, view the articles authored by J.A. Thompson, right? So since this number is less than 10,000, the citation report link is now active. When I click here, I'm going to get a citation report for this particular author. Alright, let's do it. Alright, see, now this is an excellent citation report for this author. So he has published 751 papers. Alright, this is the distribution, year-wise distribution of all the papers that he has written. Right, if you want, you can expand this chart. His H index is 98. My goodness, very high H index. If at all you want to know what H index is, there's a link, there's a information icon here. You just take your mouse there and it displays very clearly what this means, right? And then the average citation per item, which means every paper that he writes on an average gets him 84.95 citations, right? So he's a very, very valuable, very impactful author, right? And then the total citations that these 751 papers, the total number of citations they received is 63795, right? What do we mean by that? If you just take your mouse to the information icon, and the details are displayed. And this is the number without self-citation, 62724, right? And then the citing articles. The icon displays what it actually means, and then this is hyperlinked. You can even go there and click here and check these papers. And below this, you will see the citation graph. So this is the citation trend over the years, right? So his citations were, less than 100, then really took off from here. And you can actually see that his best year of citation has been 2012, when he got more than 5,000 citations. Second best year was 2011, again more than 5,000 citations. And then this is a citation trend over the years, right? And we are in 2019 now, in March. So he has already received 706 citations till now. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you want, you can actually expand this graph. You can expand this chart and it will show you all the details of his publications. Year-wise distribution, it's still getting you that information, so just wait for a minute. Yeah, there it is. So look at this. So he wrote one paper in 1921 and then so on. Actually, this is not his paper. It could be some other author, right, having the same name, so you can ignore that. But then see, all these papers. For example, in 1986 he wrote 31 papers, right, and so on. So you can actually find the year-wise distribution until 2019, when he's already written 2 papers till now. Yeah, and again you can minimize this and you can look at the citation trend as well. You've already seen this. Now below this, what you see is these 751 papers that we're talking about, these papers, details of all these papers, right? Citation detail. So For example, this paper, out of those 761, this paper has got 564 citations for 2015 and previous years. For 2016, this paper has got 577 citations, and so on, right? Again, so if you really want to find out the citations for each and every paper, it's given right here. And this is the cumulative number for all the papers, cumulative citations for all the papers, and this is the total citation count, 6795, which actually matches with this 6795. Yeah, it's the same number as this. Okay, and if anybody is really interested, you can even download this information, save to Excel file. You can even download this. On Web of Science, it is we really don't have any kind of restrictions. You can download anything into an Excel without any problem. Yeah. Okay. So the couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you do the citation chart. A couple of things that you should keep in mind are, first of all, the name of the author. As in this case, we saw, see, the name is J.A. Thompson. Now, who knows? There could be another J.A. Thompson having another person who is having exactly the same name as this, right? So whenever you're doing a citation report for a particular author, you need to be very, very careful whether you're doing it for that one single person, because there are many people who could have the same name, right? So actually I have a better idea. What you can do is you can, if at all you know, let's say I'll show you this option. It says author, and yeah, so we have something called author identifiers. Here on the right there's a short summary which tells you about the author identifiers. If you know the person's ORCID number, for example, select this and you can enter the ORCID number of that particular author, right? Let's quickly show you how this is done. Search history. Let's look at these results, and I'm just quickly trying to get hold of some ORCID number and I'll show you how it looks like. Yeah. Okay. So just give me a minute. Yeah, I think I have found one ORCID number. So we are opening the ORCID page on Web of Science. I've already discussed this in the past. You have this link. When you click on any paper, you would see the title of the paper and then the names of the authors. These are the names of the authors. And just below that, there is a link which may or may not be present. In this case, if the author provides the ORCID ID or the researcher ID, then this link is usually present. If none of the authors provides this, as in this case, see how many authors do we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 authors who have written this paper. But guess what? When you click here, there is only one author who has provided just his ORCID number. The researcher ID is not provided by this author. And none of the authors have provided any other information as far as ORCID or researcher ID is concerned. So let's just quickly get hold of this ORCID number and I'll show you how to use it on Web of Science. So the idea is that if you have the ORCID number of any author, or if you want to check the ORCID details, if you want to check your own details, and if you do have an ORCID number, just click on author identifiers. Make sure that you're on Web of Science core collection and author identifiers and enter your ORCID. This is how the ORCID should be written. 4 digits, hyphen 4 digits, hyphen 4 digits, like this, right? So ORCID is always a 16-digit number written in batches of 4 separated by a hyphen after every 4 digits. This is exactly how the ORCID should be written. In fact, if you remove this, we have shown you an example. See, the example here says A such and such number. So this is basically the researcher ID. Or you could enter the ORCID. ORCID looks like this. So example actually tells you how you should enter the detail. So I'll just enter the ORCID number here. And now I am very sure that these 7 papers are by this one single author only. This author. Sorry about that. So now I can do a citation report, and I can be very sure that all these 7 papers have originated from that one single person. The H index is 3, right? And this is the citation trend over the years. And this is the H index line. Yeah. Okay. So coming back, you can even, like I said, you can even get the citation chart for organizations. If you want to do this, I'll quickly show you how this is done for organizations. But before I do that, let me just quickly take you back to this chart where I've actually shown you all the other sessions that we conducted. I had promised that I would cover the first and the second session as well. So let's do this. Personalizing and customizing features on Web of Science and analyzing the results. Okay. So how do we do this? Let's reset. Personalizing. So this is Web of Science. It is always the access to Web of Science is given to you on the IP range of your institution, right? And what you need to do is, once you have access on the IP, this will say sign in, right? If I log out, this is what it will look like. Just give me a minute. Open a new session and see. So if your institution is already having access to Web of Science, this is what it will exactly look like. It will say sign in right here at the top, right? Now be very, very careful. You can actually do all kinds of searches on Web of Science without any problem. You can do use any feature on Web of Science without any problem. There's actually no, signing in is not mandatory. You really don't need to sign in. Of course, signing in has its own benefits. We'll talk about the benefits very soon. But just to let you know, if you want to use any particular feature on Web of Science, you can easily do it even without signing in. It's not mandatory. But signing in is recommended. So there's a difference between something that is mandatory and something that is recommended. We always say that signing in is recommended. So let me quickly sign into Web of Science to show you how this works. Signing in is, by the way, free of cost. Okay. So as you can see, the moment you sign in, your name appears on top, and my name is appearing on top, right, like this, right? For those of you who really feel that, who really don't know about this, let me tell you, my name is Vishal Sharma. I'm not Brian Costello. I'm using my colleague Brian's credentials simply because my WebEx tool was not working well. So I had to borrow his user ID and password, right? And that's the reason you will see the name of your host as Brian Costello, right? But it's me. I'm Vishal Sharma, right? Okay. So as far as the personalizing features are concerned, when you go here, it says settings. If you go on settings, right, you can of course edit your information. You can change your user ID. You can change your password. It's very simple, right? Quite self-explanatory. Select a starting application. If you click here, all the applications are given, right? So you can start with either all databases or any of these, right? And then whatever you select, you just need to submit the changes. And since I have not made any change, so I'll just cancel this. And of course you can select a language as well. Yeah. Okay. Exit settings. So let's say if you select a particular application, it starts from here. Depending on the subscription of your institution, right, the number of databases will be displayed, as many as you are subscribing to. So you can start with that. So if I select this starting application to be all databases, everything will start. Every time you open a Web of Science and sign in, it will start like this, right? And you can enter your keyword and start your searching. Well, I have chosen the Web of Science core collection. So every time I open up Web of Science and when I sign in, automatically this will be my starting point, right? It makes the job a little easier, saves you a lot of time, right? Uh, so very quickly we'll do this, and then let me just quickly check what all had to be done. Personalizing is done, customizing is done. Now customizing features of Web of Science done. Search and refine options. I'll quickly show you how searching and refining is done. Now this is the more interesting part. Enter any keyword, as in this case, okay, let me type stem cell like this, yeah, and I hit search. Now I'm getting more than 4 lakh results, actually more than 4.5 lakh results, right? Of course it's not possible for me to read through all the papers. Nobody has so much time. So what you can do is you can simply go back. So I'm covering the searching and refining part right now. So you can do a couple of things. For example, you can do this, add inverted commas, right? What am I doing? Basically, earlier what Web of Science did was it picked up all the papers. Okay. See, again the WebEx is showing me some problem here. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what it was doing earlier was it was saying it was picking up all the papers that had the word STEM in it, right, as a keyword, and then it picked up another set of results with the word cell, and then a third set of results with the word stem cell in the sequence, right? So by putting inverted commas, I'm treating this as a single word, and now it picks up just the third set of results. It is ignoring the results which had just the word stem or just the word cell. So that's how it works. So now if I, by using inverted commas, if I hit search, just see the change. So instead of 4.5 lakh results, I'm getting 2 lakh results. So of course the result has now reduced to more than half, right? But it's still not good enough for me because I still cannot read through so many papers. So what do? I go back, and now I can use various other features. For example, I can add rows. I can add as many rows as I want. Yeah. Let me just quickly, I have not checked the chat window in a while. Let me just see if everything is okay. Okay, there are a couple of questions here. I'll take up these questions in a while. First, let me just take you through all the features. Yeah. Because I have to cover a lot. I have to cover the content of 3 sessions in one session. So I'll quickly run through all this. Okay, so this was stem cell, and then you can use these operators and, or, and not, and you can add another keyword. For example, I could use the keyword that is related to stem cell. For example, if I'm looking at, let's say, blood, yeah, and I hit search. So earlier I had 2 lakh results. From 4.5 lakhs, I came back to 2 lakhs, and now I'm looking at 39,000. So do you appreciate how the results are decreasing? Well, this can happen. It's just that you should know how to play around with it. Again, 39, of course, it's a good result as compared to 2 lakh, but not good enough for me because I cannot actually read through so many papers. So I can go back and I can type another keyword. So if you are a researcher within this field, you can try as many options. You can add as many rows as you want. There is no limit, right? However, let's try something else. Instead of typing a keyword, let's try this, India. If I put India and if I hit search, actually I'll not get a good result. The reason being, India is not a keyword. The reason why I'm showing you this thing is because there's a drop down right here. So topic or keyword is the same thing. So stem cell is a topic. That's fine. Blood again is a topic. India is not a topic. It's the name of a country. So Just click on the drop down and it shows you very clearly. On the right hand side there's a short summary, tells you what all you should look at, right, and what all it includes. So see, this is, you can start your search using the title, author, anything, but we have typed India right here. So what do I look at? I should actually consider address because the country option is missing here. So the closest matching option is address. Yeah, so I'll go with address and hit search. So whenever you find that the option you're looking for is missing, go with the closest matching option. So I've come to 453, right? So you can clearly see from 4.5 lakh results to 2 lakh results to 39,000 results and now to 453 results. So it's up to you to decide when you want to stop searching. Whenever you feel that you can read these many documents, that is the point when you should stop searching. But actually I feel that it's a bit too much for me. I cannot actually read 453 articles. So let me just go back, or I can enter something else, right? However, there's another way of refining results. That was of course one way. You can keep on doing it, but you can also use the refinement table on the left, right? So you can enter a keyword here at this point as well. The benefit of entering a keyword is that, you know, it will not search through the entire database. Our database has millions of records, but if you enter a keyword at this point, it will search through only these many papers, only 453 papers. So you can enter a keyword at this point and you can then it will scan through these 453 papers. So let me just put, let's say, adipose. Adipose is actually a tissue. So I put adipose here. So it is going to look for the keyword of adipose only from these 453 documents, and you can hit search like this. So it is basically up to you, right? Okay. I know that there's not enough space. Okay. So I'm getting 25 as a result, right? So it all depends on you how you want to use this tool. I'll just go back. I don't want to look at such a short result, such a small result. So I can, you know, there are other options as well. You can click on any of these. These are all quite self-explanatory. I'll tell you what highly cited means, but open access is quite self-explanatory. You can customize this. So what you can do is you can look at any of these options. For example, publication years, Web of Science categories, like this, so on. Right? So you can look at all of these and you can select which one you want to look at. For example, if I want to look at, let's say, open access. So a total of 176 papers are open access, out of which these are gold, DOAJ gold and others gold. The number is given in brackets, and this is bronze. So in case you don't really know about this, you can actually Google this, or I can show you where to find the correct information. But there are various categories of open access as well. You have gold open access, you have bronze open access, you have green open access, accepted and published, right? And you can click here if you really want to know what it means. But at any stage, if you're using this tool, if you're using Web of Science, at any stage if you get confused, don't worry. The best way is to go to help. See help here right on top? Go to Web of Science help. This is the first option. Click here and there are two options, contents and index. You can go to index. Everything is now arranged alphabetically. So I want to look at open access. This is O right here in front of me. O, right? Open access. Open access. So I've clicked on open access and I should get the result. See, here it is. OA. OA means open access. The definitions are given. Oh, sorry. Yeah. There's a small write-up here about open access, what it means, and then we have the definitions of all the various types of open access. DOAJ, gold, what it means. Well, here it is. DOAJ, then gold others, gold open access, others, what does it mean? What is bronze open access? It's explained right here. This is all bronze, right? And then there are two categories under green open access, green published and green accepted. Everything is explained in detail. So basically the idea is was to show you the index, right? So everything is arranged alphabetically. If at all you are confused with any kind of terminology that is being used on Web of Science platform, please refer to this index. You should get the answer. However, still if you're not able to get an answer, you're free to write an email to me and I will try and answer your questions. In case you haven't noticed, my email address is right here. This is the email address right on your screen, vishav.sharma@clarivate.com. Please do not address your emails to Brian Costello. I know he is being shown as the host on your system. You would also get emails, auto-generated emails from Brian's ID because the WebEx has been set up from his ID. But please ignore that. Ignore all such emails. If at all you have any questions whatsoever, please write to me. Right? The email address is right here in front of you. All right. So coming back. Okay, just give me a minute. There is some problem with the chat. All right. Coming back to Web of Science. So you have seen what the help menu can, how this Web of Science can help you from here. All right. So now you can select anything. For example, if you want to look at the publication years, 2019, 11, 18, these many. So you can select any of these options. Yeah. And you can even go to, let's say, Web of Science categories. Looking at all these, you can click on hematology, even oncology, and like I said, I'm just randomly selecting these options just to show you how this works. I'm not a researcher myself, but I'm just selecting these options. And under document types, we'll show you what. Now, we are a very transparent organization. We tell you the source of the information. Now, if somebody would really want to know how are we getting these 453 results, from where are we getting these 453 results? These 453 results we are getting from this document types. Out of these 453, 336 are basically articles, right? 78 are reviews, 22 are meeting abstracts, and so on. If you want to look at more, you can click on here, more options. If you notice very carefully, publication years, or whether it is Web of Science categories, or even document types below this, we always show you the first 5 options. See, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Even in Web of Science categories, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you want to look at more than 5 options, it's actually quite easy. Click here and you'll get more options, right? Okay. So no matter what you select, right, you just have to click on refine. Click on any refine, it's just the same. You can select as many options from this table and click on refine. And let's see what do we get now. So from 453 we are getting 15, right? And if you want to see how we have progressed over our keywords, what was the trend of getting results, go to search history. And here you are. We started with stem cell. Yeah. We started with stem cell. We got 4,53,000 something, right? And then we used stem cell with inverted commas. And we got these many results, 2 lakh something. And then with stem cell, and we used the keyword of blood, we got 39,000 papers. And then we added the address as India, and we got these many. Then we added, refined it by topic of adipose, and got this much. And then we went back and we added document type article, publication within 2018 and 19, and hematology or oncology. These are the Web of Science categories that we used, and we have got 15 results. So search history basically shows you how you have progressed in your search, how you have refined your search. This is a very gradual way of refining your search, right? You could not read through 4 lakh articles, but now You can read through 25. You even have have an option of reading 15 papers. And the other good thing about search history is search history enables you to jump to any of the previous search that you conducted. For example, if I want to go back to my starting point of 2 lakh something, this result, stem cell with inverted commas, I can quickly go here and click here, and I will come to that page like this right away. 2 lakh. Yeah. Sorry. So, and then the other thing about search history is that now if I close the window, if I have to close the window for whatever reason, I will lose all my searches, right? All these searches will be gone. But if I want to retain these searches, you remember I told you that of course signing in is not mandatory, but it is always recommended. This is what I meant. See, it's not mandatory, you can get all your searches, but the search history remains active till the time the session is active. The moment if at all for some reason I have to shut down my laptop, all these searches will be gone. If I move away from this page, if I close the window, again I'll lose all my searches. So what you actually need to do is you can save these searches, and you can save it from here. And if you really want to save, this is the first thing you need to do. You have to first of all sign in. So you have to sign in, and only then you will be allowed to save your searches. So if I click on save, I can even create alerts, right? So every time a new article gets added, I will get an email alert. So this is one benefit of signing in. And then of course if you want to come back, like I said, you will be able to retain your searches. So if you come back to your search, let's say after some time, maybe a day later or a week later or a month later, you simply have to go to search history and go to open saved history. Okay. So this is how you have to open your saved history. Yeah. Okay. So I think I've covered most of it. Look, I've shown you how to refine your results, analyze results. Okay, before we go to analysis, let's look at a few results. Let's just go back. Let me click on any. Let's click on this result, right? 2 lakh something. Okay. Now, if you notice, just ignore this for now, right? If you are looking at the right hand side, if you pay attention, see what happens is against every paper you would see the number of citations. So this paper has got 0 citations. Again, this one has got 0 citations. So the citations are mentioned against each and every paper. See this one, again 0 citations. So most of them are all zeros. Now why is this happening? It's simply because all the results are sorted in terms of date. So it says newest to oldest. I can simply rearrange this. I can go to time cited. And now all the results, these 2 lakh results are now rearranged in a way that the most highly cited paper will be on top. So these are basically now arranged in descending order of citation. As you see clearly this arrow. And if you place your mouse here, it says highest to lowest. The arrow is showing in descending order. So most highly cited paper amongst these 2 lakh papers is shown right here, and then this one, and then this one, right? Now, it depends on you what you want to see. You want to see the most highly cited paper, or you want to see the most recent paper. It's just a matter of choosing what option you want to see by clicking here. So the sorting is usually by default it is shown by date. You can of course change it to time cited. That's your choice. Now let's click on this paper first of all, and let's see what it is. So when you click on any result, right, this is what you would see. This is the title of the paper, and then you would see the names of all the authors. This is the name of the journal, right? The volume, issue, even the page numbers are given. and we would show you the DOI. The complete DOI is reflected here, and when you click here, it shows you the impact factor information. So for the journal called Science, the impact factor is the latest impact factor available is for the year 2017. Very soon, by probably June end or maybe sometime in July, we would have the impact factor for the year 2018. But for now, we don't have it yet. So the latest impact factor information is available only till 2017 for now. So according to the 2017 information, it has the impact factor is 41.058 and the 5-year impact factor is 40.627. Actually, it's quite high, right? And we also tell you the publisher's name, right? And the ISSN number. All the details are given. And it also tells you the research domain, right? And then we have something called quartiles. So this is Q1. So what are quartiles? Basically, if you even Google this, it will show you there are basically 4 quartiles: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So the top 25% high impact factor journals would be placed in Q1. So even if I were to hide the information, even if let's for a minute just assume that the impact factor information is not visible to you, then how would you decide whether this particular journal is good or bad? Because just by giving the impact factor information, you would really not know whether it's good or bad, right? If I say that impact factor is 2.567, is it good or bad? We can't really say, right? We can't really judge unless we know the subject area or the domain. So knowing the research domain is important. However, if I don't have knowledge of the research domain, then I will not be able to judge whether the impact factor is good or bad just by knowing the number. So what we've done is, for every research domain, the top 25% high impact factor journals are placed in Q1, and then below that you would see Q2 and Q3, and the lowest impact factor journals with the lowest 25% would go to Q4, quartile 4, right? So this is a quartile 1 journal, Q1 journal. So it's an excellent journal. We even show you the rank and category. It is ranked second out of 64 journals, right? Okay. Then you would see the complete abstract. And then below this you would see the details of the authors, right? The address. Okay, let's pick up another paper. See, as in this case, okay, let me discuss about this paper itself. So this on the right you would see the citation network, and within this the Web of Science core collection. So this paper has been cited 8,966 times, right? That is 8966 citations within the core collection. But if you want to know how many total citations this paper has received, if I were to consider all the databases together, then this paper has received these many citations, 9678 citations in all databases, right? So this is the number of citations reflected on the right hand side. And then, as you would know, if researchers, when they write papers, they would use some other papers as their references. Similarly, for writing this particular paper, now these authors have used some references. You know how many references they used? They have used 23 references. It's right here. It says 23 cited references. Again, it's hyperlinked. So if you click here, it takes you to these 8966 papers which have cited this paper. If you click here, it takes you to the 23 papers which were used as references for writing this paper, right? It depends on you what you want to look at, but it's very good for literature review. So Web of Science is an ideal place when you are doing a literature review. You can either click here or here and you can find all your relevant papers. Now there's another tab here. It says, let me just see if it's not stealing the thunder from the other sessions. Okay. Alright. There's another tab called related records. I will not talk about this because we will cover that part in the advanced series in the second session right here. Okay. Anyways, yeah, coming back to Web of Science. So and then we would as you would notice, right, there's no full text here. So Web of Science, we are the world's most preferred abstract indexing and citation database. We do not provide the full text. In fact, full text is provided under two conditions only. And what are these two conditions? If the article is open access, then of course you would get full text, or if your institution subscribes to that particular publisher, in that case you would get the full text. So in this case, see, this is the universal symbol for open access. So it says free full text from publisher. So if I click here, I will get the full text free of cost because it is open access. Assuming that if this was not open access, then I would have got the full text from here, full text from publisher. But then this link would work only if my institution subscribes to which publisher? This one, American Association of Advanced Science. If this is the publisher that you are subscribing to, then you will get full text. If not, then of course you cannot get the full text. Let me take up another example. This was an open access paper. That's all right. Let me click on something which is not open access. Just give me a minute. Okay, yeah, this is a good example. Now, why is it a good example? Because see, the same thing, but it's just not, the only difference is this is not open access. So this is the title of the paper, names of all the authors, right? And below this, so did you notice that in the previous paper this link was missing? Right now this link is showing. The only reason is because the authors at the time of submission of the paper, if these authors, if they mention their researcher ID or ORCID ID, then this link appears. If they do not mention these details, then this link will not appear. If I click here, see, as you can clearly make out, see, there are so many authors here in this list. There are about 8 to 10 people, 8 to 10 authors. However, now you're seeing just 3 authors. Yeah. So it's just only 3 people realize the importance of researcher ID or ORCID ID, and they're giving these numbers at the time of submission of the paper to the publisher. And we are just picking up this information as it is. So if I click here or here or here, it will open up the researcher ID or the ORCID ID depending on where I click, right, for this particular author. What is ORCID and researcher ID? I will not talk about it now because this is going to be covered in this session. The last of the advanced series talks about ORCID ID and researcher ID. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to Web of Science. Right. Now this is the journal, volume, issue, page numbers given, and who is the publisher in this case? Taylor and Francis. Right. So this is the impact factor, 3.993 and 3.89, and see, this is a multidisciplinary journal. So this is an excellent example where I wanted to show you that the quartile changes depending on the discipline we're talking about. For example, in this case, for biotechnology and applied microbiology, this is a quartile 1 journal, Q1, right? The rank is 30 out of 161. Thank you. And in this case, this happens to be a if we talk about the subject domain of cell and tissue engineering, then this happens to be a Q2 journal, right? And so on. And the rank also varies according to that, according to your research area. Alright, and now I told you that you could even look at the author details. Now Web of Science is an excellent collaborating tool. You can even collaborate with people. For collaborating, you would need 2 or 3 things. You would need to know the person's name. Okay, here are the names of the authors, right? For collaboration, you need to know where they are located. Okay, well, these are the addresses. You get the location, right? So we have authors from Italy, Sweden, Germany, Netherlands, USA, and so on, and Canada, right? And then finally, you want to contact them. So we have the email address of the corresponding author mentioned right here. So you can even contact these people. through this email address. Yeah, and you could even use this email address for getting, let's say if you do not subscribe to this particular publisher, if your institution is not subscribing to Taylor and Francis, then what you need to do is, and if you really need this full text of this particular paper, and this option is not working because probably your institution is not subscribing to that particular publisher, then what you can do is you can actually think of writing an email to this author directly using this email address, and you can request them for a full text, right? But that's all up to you to decide whether you really want to do this or not. But this usually works if you do this. Okay, going back. So I've actually covered all the refining options here, and then analyzing search results to find top authors, journals. Okay, so let's do the analysis now. So look, we have a large set of results, 2 lakh something, right? 2,06,030 papers. Of course, it's not possible for me to read through so many papers, but what I can do is I can actually analyze these papers. And where is the analysis tab? It's right here. So if I really want to find out that, okay, out of these 2 lakh papers, which are the top 10 authors, right? Which are the top 10 institutions? Which are the top 10 funding agencies doing funding papers in the field of stem cells? Which are the top 10 organizations doing research in the field of stem cells? Right? Which are the top countries doing research in the field of stem cells? So anything and everything that you really need to know, you can actually analyze and you can get that. So when you click on analysis, you would see this kind of a page. It says we are showing these many papers, these many records for the topic of stem cells, right? And then this page is divided in 3 components. This table on the left and this colorful chart on the right, and just below this chart you will see a list. So we'll cover each of these things one by one. First of all, let's say if you want to find out which are the top 10 organizations doing research in the field of stem cells. Out of these 2 lakh papers, which are the top 10 organizations? Okay, just click on organizations, quite simple. And now look at this chart on the right, this colorful chart. It's called a tree map. Tree map is actually a chart which has a lot of boxes, as you can see right now, and the size of the box depends on the number. Bigger the number, bigger the box. That's how it works, right? And so, for example, Harvard University has published 7073 papers in the field of stem cells. I can actually, this is a shortcut, I can actually view these papers directly if I click here. 7073 papers by Harvard University can be viewed like this directly, right? And I can view any of these records. If you really don't like to see a tree map, you can change the visualization to a bar graph. That's a bar graph in front of you. Again, we are looking at top 10. So this is basically the same thing. The result doesn't really change. It's just the visualization that has changed from a tree map to a bar graph. And we are looking at the top 10 results. You can even look at top 5, or you can even go up to top 25. Same up to top 25. Yeah. Let's go with top 10. It depends on your choice. What do you want to look at? If you want to look at top 10, that's how you would, or you can look at any of these results. Yeah. And then you can even download this. So if I download this, a JPG file will get downloaded. It depends on you whether you really want to see that or not. But this is how it would look like. I'll quickly show you how it seems. Okay. This is how it looks like. But I would really not recommend that you should do this. There are better ways of doing this. I'll just show you how this works. If you scroll down, the same information is now given in the form of a list. And this list is showing you right from top 10 to top 500. Let's go with top 10. and update. So here is the list of top 10 institutions, right? So again, it's the same result. Basically, it's Harvard University 7073, University of California 6974. So it's basically the same information that we saw above in this chart. Then what is the difference here? Okay, so the difference is that, for example, see, if I want to view all the records published by Harvard University 7073, I can simply click here and I can view, right? The difference is I can even select multiple options here. I can select, let's say, the top three: Harvard University, University of California, and Texas University. These three put together, I want to see how much, I want to look at all these papers together. I can click and I can view them together. The other benefit is that if I want to see everything except I just don't want to see the results from University of London, I can select whatever option I don't want to see and I can click on exclude. Right? So it depends on what you want to see and what you don't want to see. You can use the options according to your choice. And then the other benefit is, you see, on Web of Science we actually allow you to download anything into an Excel. You are free to download anything. And how to do it? You can click on this icon, download. So you can even create a chart of this list. If you like making presentations, well and good, but we can assist you in making those presentations. You can simply, I'll show you how to create a chart with this information. I'll just quickly click on download. And before I do that, let me just go to, just give me a minute. Yeah. So what I'll do is, when I click on download, right? When I clicked on download, this thing got downloaded. It's nothing but a notepad, right? Don't attempt to read what it is. Just select everything and then copy paste on an Excel. That's the reason why I open up an Excel, a blank Excel. Just copy paste everything on an Excel like this. Remove the last two rows and you're done. So all this information is available on an Excel at the click of a button. So easy. Now creating a chart is even easier. Use the Excel and create any kind of chart. For example, I want to create a bar graph. So you can beautify the bar graph as much as you want. And that's the reason why I said you don't really need to download this. Of course, there is an option of downloading the chart. You can download a bar graph from here, but a better bar graph is actually available through Excel. Yeah, and you can even rename this. You can say top 10 organizations. Yeah, and your PPT, your slide for your PPT is actually ready. Yeah. Then you can even, going back here, you can even convert into any other kind of chart. Just select the data and you can create any other kind of chart. You can even do a pie chart or something, right? It all depends on what you want to see. So what we've seen is you can download information from Web of Science. You can even go up to 500 records and you can download that information on Excel. Just remember that when you click on download, it actually downloads on a notepad, and the notepad actually looks like this. Don't attempt to read what this is. Just select everything and copy paste on a blank Excel. And there you are. Yep. Alright. Now if I were to look at, let's say we were looking at top organizations. You can even look at top 10 funding agencies. So if I'm a researcher, if I want to find out which are the top 10 funding agencies in the field of stem cells, well, here's the list. I want to find out which are the top 10 journals that publish information, that publish articles on stem cells. You will not see journals. It will always say source titles. So click on source titles, and these are the top 10 journals. So if you're a researcher in this field, you would know which are the top 10 journals. For example, Blood. This journal has published these many papers in the field of stem cells. This journal has published these many records on stem cells, and so on. Yeah. So these are the top 10 journals. How can you use this information? You can think of reading through these. If let's say there are say 100 journals in the field of stem cells, and you don't have time to read through all those 100 journals, it's better to read the top 10. Once you've read the top 10, you can even select the top 25. Yeah. When it comes to publishing, if you want to find out which is the best journal where I should publish, which has published the most number of articles. The most number of articles, well, yes, we have the answer. Blood has published the most number of articles in the field of stem cell. If that is what you're looking for, then this is your answer. Of course, when we discuss EndNote, then we can tell you how to find the most suitable journal. But if you really want to go by record count, if you want to see which journal has published the most number of records, then yes, the answer is right here. And similarly, you can find out which are the best countries, which are the countries which have published the most in the field of stem cell. And here you are. USA, Germany, China, and so on. Unfortunately, India is not there in the top 10, right, based on record count. So, and this is the percentage contribution. For example, based on these many records, USA has contributed 37.321%. This is the total number of papers. This is the number of papers published by USA. So this is the contribution by USA, 37.37%, 32%, and then so on. Yeah. Okay. So I have actually covered most of the things. Sorry, I'm just checking. Top authors, journals, institutions, publications. I've covered most of this. So now what we'll quickly do is I'll just go to the chat window and I'll see what all questions have been asked. I'll first try and answer the questions that I see on the chat window, and once I've done all this, then I'll unmute everyone. Yeah. Okay. So as promised, I have covered all three sessions today. Today I was supposed to discuss only the citation analysis part and the H-index, but I've covered everything. And for the certification and the quiz, I will consider today's attendance as well as the attendance for the previous two sessions as well. And I will give you the benefit of doubt because you could not hear me properly, so I've covered all three. And you should get an email from me depending on who all have attended all three sessions. Depending on that, you will get an email because attending all three sessions is mandatory. Just give me a minute. There's some problem with the WebEx. I don't know if you can see this error message on your screen or not, but on my screen it is showing some kind of error, not enough space on the disk. Let me get rid of this problem first. It's not going away. I don't know why. I'm just trying to get rid of this problem. Okay, probably we'll see what needs to be done later, but first let's get on with the session. Why is this not disappearing? Anyways, yeah, so I'll please ignore this. If you are seeing this WebEx chat small little window which shows up an error message, if you are seeing this, I assume you are, please ignore this. I'm not able to get rid of this icon. There is some problem with my WebEx chat, but anyways, yeah. Uh, I attended all sessions, but no acknowledgement was received. Well, actually, the acknowledgement is system generated, but even if you don't receive the acknowledgement, it's not really so important because you should. That's the reason why I displayed this chart here, this list on Excel, which tells you the dates when all the sessions are to be, held. Uh, so please join us on these dates. If you have registered on the for the WebEx series, you would automatically get a notification saying when is the next session scheduled, and you can actually join that. So don't really worry about the acknowledgement. It's just that you need to attend, because I would get a separate list from WebEx saying who all have attended. It doesn't really matter whether you've got the acknowledgement or not. As long as you attend, you're good. Okay.